let's go for a drive, my friends. Believe it or not, this is a new phone charger for the iPhone 13, which I saw in Japan. It plugs onto your dashboard magnetically and lets you use it as a navigation tool. But the best part about it is you can actually film yourself driving. So please enjoy the next 10 minutes of me driving to some Japanese shops. Let's hope nothing serious happens. Fingers crossed. Let's go. We're just taking it nice and slow through the Tsujido favela. It's quite a dangerous area. I see quite a lot of elderly people with sinister looks carrying bags. Who knows what kind of weapons are being concealed within such bags. Yeah, you know, this is the land of the samurai and the ninja. You should never ever take people lightly here. So that was a postal delivery person coming at 6:30 p.m. to deliver some post. I think in Japan that's considered lunchtime, 6 p.m. So soon he should be off for some lunch with his co-workers. Now I'm just taking you past one of the best restaurants in Japan. It's called An. It's basically, they put a beach barbecue on your table. And I couldn't think of a better idea myself. Delicious, totally delicious. So now we're coming up to one of the busier roads in Tsujido. You know, there's a few cars coming past. You can't see them, but I can. I see people looking to cross the street. I can see. Basically, there's no cars and the lights are red, and this is something that the world should look at, because I'm making pollution through my highly tuned 2-litre flat 4 sports engine at the moment, and I feel bad for the planet. But we have a green light mean go. Engine's still cold, so we're being quite gentle at the moment. It is a 17-year-old car. You must treat them with respect or they will break. And broken cars are not expensive. You'd be surprised to know also that in Japan, Subarus are not easy to fix. It's actually easier to get your Subaru fixed in the UK than it is in Japan. There's more tuners, there's more parts, there's more availability. In Japan, I know of about one garage in the 300 kilometers that actually fix Subarus properly. And in the UK, I'm sure your town has one. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? Now I'm stuck in traffic jam, and they say in Japan you should always buy an automatic car because you're always stuck in traffic, but it's not true, brother. You don't need an automatic car unless you can't drive. So let me just talk you through more. So we're coming through the famous Tsujido intersection with OK Supermarket, famous for sashimi that will make you vomit, and also kimchi that will also cause stomach disorders. I highly recommend you avoid those two products. The meat so far has never made me ill, but the fish and the kimchi, which is fermented Korean cabbage with chili, it tastes better than it sounds, is a dangerous item in OK Supermarket. So please do yourself a favor, do your gut a favor, do your toilet a favor, and avoid consuming from there. Cheap is not always the best answer. There's a reason they say cheap things are not good and good things are not cheap, and it's proven by OK Supermarket. We're coming past you can't see it, but I can, the best sushi restaurant in Tsujido. It's also a bittersweet place. Made 3 old men chopping up the fish. They chop the fish better than anyone you've probably ever seen. It might not help that I've mostly been to 100 yen, which is like a dollar a piece of sushi, which is fairly cheap here. Now we are at the second most famous crossing in Tsujido. There are no roundabouts in Japan. It is illegal to have round things on the road in Japan. It all must be square. I believe, I'm sorry, but I believe that's probably because the Americans influence after World War II. So not so wonderful. Although I did have a few crashes on them. I've never crashed on a Japanese junction. So this actual crossing is famous for Family Mart. It has a Family Mart which has the rare caramel cake, probably the best cake in the world. It cost $5. And the second reason it's famous is for a restaurant called Seagull 915, and they have a special Italian dish called penne. It's a penne pasta spelt with 3 N's. So I've never been brave enough to test it, but I'm assuming it is some rare discovery the Japanese have made in Italy of a new kind of pasta related to penne pasta, but maybe a bit more extreme. To be honest, the restaurant just looks disgusting, so I don't want to try it. On the right side here we have the Japanese cheap Chinese food. We have Seo Cycles, which is a bicycle shop, which I don't have the best of relationships with. Once I tried to buy a bicycle there and ride away at the same time, and they told me it would take 6 hours to assemble the pedals. I protested in my poor Japanese that I could put the pedals on in 5 minutes if they let me use the wrench, which they would not let me. So I purchased the wrench and forced the gentleman to give me the pedals, put them on myself, and rode away in 10 minutes. So there's a lesson. If you go away from Tokyo, don't expect the service to be good, because it's not. Everyone in this town of Tsujido, basically it's like a sleepy seaside town where everyone thinks they're surfer dudes. Have you seen Point Break with Keanu Reeves, the original one? Everyone thinks they are Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze here, Japanese version. And as such, the service is equally given with a surfer's attitude. So if you go to a restaurant, probably they won't see you ordering, probably they will not see you arriving, probably they think you can wait 2 or 3 days for any service that needs doing, like putting pedals on the bicycle. It is extremely frustrating. One such example was when I took my watch for a battery. They told me it would take 2 months, and they sent it off after 2 months to the maker and told me it would take 3 weeks to put the battery in, whereupon I cancelled my order and they told me it would take 3 weeks to come back, whereupon I protested in my limited Japanese, and hey presto, 2 days later it was back. So you gotta push them a bit here or they won't do anything. This street we're driving down now, you know, at the back all you can see is my STI version 8 wing. It creates 0 downforce but creates ultimate cool. It's called Surfer Street because or if you go backwards it takes you to the beach where there is no parking. So basically everyone who surfs here are bicycle users, and they use bicycles. They put the surfboard on the side of a bicycle, making the bicycle about 2 meters wide. Massive hazard to us driving the cars. We try so hard not to run them over. I'm sure it's happened many times. You know, so you know, surf at your own risk here. What can I tell you about here? So now we're coming up to the main intersection that goes under the railway. It used to be famous for girls bars or snack bars, to be more correct. Snack bars are where Japanese men over 50 go to be flattered by women in their 40s wearing slutty clothing to boost their confidence, whereupon they buy beers costing probably $50 each, eating peanuts while singing terribly karaoke, where the girls are like, man, you are the best singer I've ever seen, even more than Justin Bieber. You're like the 55-year-old company worker Justin Bieber of Japan. Next beer, $50 please, thank you very much. That is a snack bar. I have never been, I heard stories, I promise. Yeah, so usually the traffic here is quite busy because it's a very poorly designed road system. You have all of the cars in the south crossing to the north through one small bridge that goes under the railway. The traffic lights are not in our favor, they're in the favor of the sideways cars. So if you are watching this, Fujisawa District Council, please listen and rebuild all of the roads here, because you have failed to make them work. On the right we have a Caprice. Caprice is not a lady. Caprice is actually the best Italian restaurant in Canada, probably the best one in Kanagawa. They make my best dish, which is the gorgonzola pasta. It is really good, and you know, you get some nice al dente pasta. Dessert was reasonable, tiramisu. Actually, one thing Japanese usually do quite good is the restaurants, they really get into, you know, they're really passionate about food. So if you have an Italian restaurant, it's not just some dude thinking I can make some, you know, make a bit of money serving out some pasta and some pizza. These people probably, they dreamed of Italy since they were a child. They've read all the books about Italy, they've watched TV shows about Italy, they you know, listen to Italian opera, and through this passion they've never been to Italy probably, but they have opened a restaurant and themed it as Italian. And you can always tell an Italian themed restaurant because it will have an Italian flag outside, and the flag is what creates the you know, the ambiance. Ironically, if that's the right word to choose, my English is getting quite bad these days. There is one British restaurant in Japan, and I think they're doing it wrong, because you can't get jacket potatoes, you can't get beans on toast, you can't get it fried at breakfast, but you can get eggs Benedict, which they do well. And you can tell it's a British restaurant because they have one of the, at the time, the Queen's Guards, which was a teddy bear dressed up as a guardsman. I'm not sure they actually chose the correct regiment because it was not identifiable, but that was how I knew it was a British restaurant, aside from the Google review stating it was a British restaurant. So yeah, now we are approaching the railway bridge. That's why we're not moving. I'll just give you a quick view about what I can see. So you know, you might think in Japan everyone's got cool sports cars, Skyline Supras, Imprezas like me, but no, it's very rare. So in front of us we have a Honda, which maybe doesn't surprise you. It's the Honda Airwave. Have you ever heard of the Honda Airwave? Me neither, but I can describe it as it's silver. It looks like two car designs that have been merged by AI, so slightly confusing design. Looks like a late 90s model. It's from, I can read the number plate, it's from Kobe, which is a long way away. So obviously they wanted to spend about £200 on highway fees to bring their Honda Airwave over to Japan's central area, Kanto. I can also tell you that the Honda Airwave is 4-wheel drive. Impressive. Behind us, ooh, forget what I just said, there is a sports car behind us, driven by a single man, and oh, there is a lady in the seat, but she's very short. It might be a Honda S2000. No, I'm sorry, it's a Mazda Roadster. It's been modified with bad headlights and it looks like a nice car, but the Mazda Roadsters are a cool car, but that guy's not wearing it quite as right as you'd hope. Yeah, that's not impressive. Anyway, so I like them. I used to have one. This is another famous junction. It's a shopping mall crossing over with the only road out of town. Out of town road is not so busy because it's a nice place. Why would you ever want to leave Tsujido? It has everything you could possibly want. In front of me I can see the Terrace Mall, which Terrace Mall. They shorten to Teramo Mall, or just Teramo. It has a movie theatre, has a Uniqlo, like every single building in Japan has a Uniqlo available. H&M, which is you know H&M, fashion company, booming at the moment. Everyone loves H&M. It's got a Zara quality, as we know, is less than Gap and is cheap, but in Japan it's seen as premium and far above Gap. So this is a Zara top. I like them because they make clothes that fit foreigners, and they look pretty good too. I'm a Zara fan. I like Zara. They have the evil watch shop that I mentioned. They have a food supermarket, which is a little bit expensive. You probably want to go to a cheaper one if you live here. On the right, they have a place that rents out event spaces for office meetings, and if you've worked for a Japanese company, you will know they bloody love office meetings. We're now turning south again. Have some boost. Better? I do. So again, now we're cut off by the railway, which we tried to pass earlier, and now you turn around. Why? Who knows why? But the rules are different here. No one told me. I got a driving license with no test. They just gave me one. But there's a different rule here that people who want to use the zebra crossing, which seems to be at every junction, have right of way over the cars, which I think is how Americans like to do it. But in the UK, it does not fly. So it took me a long time to get used to that. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, it's a beautiful night, clear sky, almost a full moon. We're reading 19 degrees outside. It's jacket and t-shirt weather.